get to this, I've got to show you all the steps I did to make it. So to make your meat sauce, I'm going to show you how to do a quick and dirty meat sauce, which is the way that we normally do it here at the restaurant, because I don't have time to spend my whole day fussing over a pot. At home, it's a different story. I'll start a meat sauce first thing in the morning and just let it simmer all day. But I'm going to show you how we do it here at the restaurant. So I've got a big pot on the stove. I'll get that warming up. So I've got 6 kilograms of ground beef, 2 cans of tomato basil pasta sauce, some minced garlic, and I know it's a little sacrilege, but this is a frozen mirepoix mix that I usually bring in to make the soups, unless it's a specialty soup like mushroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sauteing these in the pot for about 10-15 minutes because they have to thaw. I'm going to add the garlic in about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to add the meat. Once the meat's cooked, I'm going to add the tomato sauce. I'm going to let it simmer for 2 hours. Once it's done simmering, I'm going to take it off the heat, put it into an ice bath and cool it down. And then tomorrow we will make the lasagna. All right. Let's just raise you up. So we're going to add our veggies. This is just a time saver buying it like this, because I've only got an hour until we open, and I don't have time to spend the whole morning doing the prep. I have time to make videos for you guys, but I don't want to spend the whole morning doing prep. So I'm going to let that go for about 10-15 minutes. Add the garlic, let that go, add the meat, and then I'll add the sauce. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Everything is caramelized. I added the garlic in 5 minutes ago and cooked it. I also added in some Italian seasoning. You can find that in your local grocery store. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of salt. So it's time for me to add my meat. Obviously, your sauce can be whatever you want it to be. You want to add mushrooms, add mushrooms. You don't want carrots, don't add carrots. You don't want meat, don't add meat, add lentils. We're going to let that sit and cook for a little while. And then I'm going to add the sauce to it, and then it'll go off to the planchette, and then it will just simmer for about an hour or two. Like I said, then I'll cool it down, and tomorrow we'll make lasagna. Well, as it's cooking, you want to break it up. It's for sure you're going to wind up with a big chunk or two. Alright, so I have, whoa, Jesus Christ, just about killed myself. I have let this go for about 15 minutes. It's nice and brown, broken it up. I drained it through one of my colanders. Now I'm going to add 2 cans of sauce. As I said, if I was at home, I have fresh ripe tomatoes off the vine. I'd boil them up, make a fresh tomato sauce. But as this is mass produced, and it's just me, as I have no staff. This is the easiest way for me to do it. Well, I have staff, it's just none of them are really over 19 years old. And that's it. Now we just move it over to the planchette. It's going to sit over here on the cooler side for the next hour or so. Then we will cool it down, put it in a container, and make lasagna tomorrow. So, to make lasagna, you need cheese, you need sauce, and you need pasta. These are some fresh pasta sheets. You can use the store-bought dried stuff if you want. Also got some ricotta. Now, this is the second lasagna I've made, as we've been testing out recipes to see what would work in the restaurant. So we're going to make another one. I'll sell it as a special this weekend. It's not supposed to be that nice. So to prepare the ricotta, you need 1 tub of ricotta, 1 egg. Move that out of the way. And a little bit of milk. About 2 tablespoons. Turn it on. We're going to whip it up really good. Okay. Unplug it. Attach my beaters. Move this out of the way. Put this in the fridge. Bring this over here. Now, the meat sauce I made yesterday, and I prefer to work with a cooler meat sauce. I mean, you can do it fresh and just let it go, put it all together. I prefer to work with a cold meat sauce. Alright, I need my spoon. Well, this is basic bolognese sauce. Rather than spend the time making my own tomato sauce and adding it to this, we just use the cans of Primo. But other than that, I follow the classic way to make it, using milk and the meat to help break down the proteins. Other side is the camera. The camera's over here. So, yeah, it's pretty tasty. At home, I'd make everything from scratch. Alright. I have my prepared pan. I have my ricotta. I just have to move this out of the way because I need mozzarella. So I've sprayed the pan. There's never enough room. And there's a big hunk of meat in there. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of meat sauce down on the bottom. Just ever so little. Okay. Then I'm going to take a sheet of my pasta. Get it off. where there's no plastic, it is stuck together. If I remember correctly, I went this way. Lay it down. Or did I go the other way? I'm not quite sure now. Let me actually press it the other way. I went. No, that's not right. It's 2 sheets per. Let's just do it this way. Everyone get down in there. There we go. There's one. We're going to overlap it just ever so slightly. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit of ricotta. You can also use dried cottage cheese if you can find it. I've been having a real issue finding it. So, I'm just going to, kind of like a cake decorator. Depends how cheesy you want your stuff. Okay. I'm going to take the meat sauce. I'm going to, I wasn't paying attention. That is 1 lump of meat. Put that there and break that up later. So the complaint I got with the last one I made wasn't quite saucy enough. I only used 1 can. So I'm going to make 2 cans this time. That's what I used in this meat sauce, was 2 cans of pasta sauce to 3 kilograms of beef. There's another big one there. You just spread it out. I'm not going to use all this. I'm probably going to wind up freezing some of this sauce, because this is just going to be the weekend special. It's kind of fall-y now. It's about comfort food. It's kind of chilly out. Okay. Move that out of the way. You could add spinach at this point too. I just don't have any. I'm going to add about probably 1.5 cups of cheese. Obviously, this is like double what you'd make at home. This is just quick restaurant style. A lot of places just order the products in Campbell's. Not gonna lie, we're looking into that as well, because lasagna is a 3-day process around here, and I do not have 3 days to spend making lasagna all the time. So next, another sheet of lasagna pasta, and this is as near to homemade as I can get without making it myself, and I do not have the space or the time to make the homemade pasta. I would love to. I'm going to be making some gluten-free pasta for my daughter, but I don't have the time to do it. Last time I did a 4-layer. This time I'm only going to do a 3-layer lasagna because they felt it was a little bit high and a little bit filling, and I just fucked that up. So let's go like that. There you go. Boop. Try and get it as pieces together. Meat sauce. And you just keep layering. I mean, if you want to do an 8-layer lasagna, all the more power to you. But those pieces are not going to be, unless you're a big eater. If I was in my 20s, sure, I could do that. Now I'm in my 40s. You notice my appetite is not what it used to be. Mind you, I've also cut things out the last almost year now. I've lost 45 pounds, so chef is getting swole. Meat. More cheese. Now, if I didn't have to open Hang on one sec. I'm hearing noises. If I didn't have to open another bag of orange cheddar, I'd throw some of that on top. You can actually, if I can do it without knocking the camera, I've got some fresh grated parm. I'm actually going to add a little bit of that on this layer here. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Perfect for when it's down and on the top. All right, next, I think I've got, oh bugger, I've got more layers pulled than I thought I did. It's alright, I can make a smaller lasagna. So I'm going to do that. Actually, I could just do a 4-sheeter again too for all that matters. Okay, I got that. So the process with the meat sauce is I browned the meat, took it out of the pot, added the vegetables to the pot with a little bit of beef fat. Well, I guess I should go back. I browned the meat for a little bit, added a 1/4 cup of milk to that, and let that simmer down. And that helps break down the meat proteins. If you're lactose intolerant, you obviously want to skip that step, but then if you're lactose intolerant, I wouldn't want to know what you're paying for dairy-free cheese to make a lasagna. And then I added my garlic and my herbs to that, and it's just a basic Italian spice mixture. Added my veggies back to that, and then I added my tomato sauce and let it simmer for a few hours on low heat. You could use a crock pot. Cooled it down, put it in the insert, and put it in the fridge for use today. Maybe I will do a 4th layer. I don't know. I got a lot of meat sauce here. A lot of people don't like making lasagna at home because it is such a freaking intensive process. And there we go. I wish I had the spinach, but that's on the truck. I'm going to make a cream of spinach soup. And cheese. Get it. Corners. Mess there. And the parchment paper just helps it so that the lasagna doesn't stick to the pan. It makes dishes a whole lot easier. So if your wife says or your boyfriend says, I'm making lasagna, you tell them to make sure you put parchment paper in it, because if you're on dishes, you don't have to worry. All right, so at this point I can just stop, cover it with tin foil, and throw it in a 375-degree onion oven for about 2 hours. The last 10 minutes, you're going to want to pull it out of pull the cover off, turn the heat up a little bit, and let the cheese brown. Let's just fix that. Oh, look at that fist there. There we go. Here. Sorry about that. And then you get this. Right here, other toe, and move that over a little bit. There. So there's that. I have 2 sheets left over, so I'm going to make it a 4-sheeter. The next time you see this lasagna, it'll be out of the oven.